lot of stuff, and I don't know. It's just don't
Hey,
look
Chris,
like
you,
it.
you didn't have a single striation on your ass. What are you talking about,
I
straight?
know, but
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Rubiel Mosquera. And a huge shout out to Chris Cormier and the Menace podcast for giving us fans very exclusive on how things are looking with Rubiel at 3 weeks out of this year's Dubai Pro. So apparently Samson isn't the only one who weighs close to 300 pounds just 3 weeks out of the competition. According to Chris Cormier, Rubiel weighs over 304 pounds right now. And even for a guy who is 5'11", that is a monstrous weight.
Is it at top? 5'11", yeah, 5'11".
304.
Wow.
304.
Yeah, he's a freak, man.
That's some Ramy-esque.
Yeah.
I know you guys want him to have a smaller waist. You want him to have a wider shoulders. But I'm just telling you.
Plus, we have seen multiple physique updates from Rubiel during this Dubai Pro prep, where he looks absolutely mind-blowing. And the thing is, he isn't just heavy for the sake of it. He's actually really shredded in some of his updates, and there is a bit of fine-tuning left, and some water manipulation that needs to be done. And Rubiel will be 100% ready. So Neckzilla is gonna be the biggest guy on the stage in Dubai without a shadow of a doubt. He is gonna be the biggest guy on the stage by a margin. And yes, I know he doesn't have the most balanced physique. Maybe his legs are just way too big for his upper body. But the judges saw the same thing in Rubiel at Prague last year as well, when they placed him above Nezhilla at his pro debut. And this Rubiel is gonna be a far better version of Rubiel, especially in terms of the flow. Plus, according to Chris Cormier, he's gonna be in better conditioning as well. So not favoring Rubiel here. But as a bodybuilding fan, we would love to see him win Dubai Pro, because William Bonac, Nezhilla and Nezhilla Beny, all these three guys are already qualified for the Olympia. And Rubiel in that Olympia lineup, that is gonna create so much more depth and so much more excitement. Now on a separate note, I would highly recommend you guys watch this episode of the Menace podcast, because Milos and Chris Cormier went at each other like never before. And that is because Chris is on Rubiel's team, while Milos is on Barros's team. So this is gonna be fun to watch.
I always thought it'd be better to have smaller glutes and have bigger quads.
Yeah, but again, so you should be penalized for having a striated glutes all the way through and
I
emphasizing.
don't think they're that striated. They look kind of.
Is Nihat Kaya the most muscular 21 years old IFB pro right now? I have to say most probably he is. So this is the same kid who won his IFB pro card at the age of 20. So correct me if I'm wrong on this. Nihat Kaya and Lee Priest had this unique record of getting their IFB pro status at the age of 20, which is absolutely ridiculous. So Nezhilla Beny won his pro card back in 2023. He had a really impressive physique, but his current physique right now, when he is just a few weeks out from making his IFB pro debut in the 212 class, that is just insane. So he has been working with Patrick Tour, and even before turning pro, he was working with Patrick, and he's the one who helped him get his pro card. And now he has also helped him put on an enormous amount of size, and that too in just 1 year. So he looks to be in a nasty condition right now, and about 4 weeks out of his pro debut. So I don't think he has the muscle maturity just yet to win a show like Dubai Pro. Because let me remind you guys, the prize money for the 212 winner at Dubai Pro, that is 20 grand. Which by the way is more than what most of the men's Open Pro winners got this year. So I am assuming some big names from the 212 class, they are gonna jump into this show and grab this opportunity to win a big payday. But considering that this guy is just 21 years old, he's gonna be a future Olympian for sure, as long as he stays healthy. So speaking about who is most likely gonna show up at this year's Dubai Pro in the 212. So wild guess here, it's gonna be Angel Calderon. He's one of the best in the world and he has placed as high as top 2 in the world in the 212. So last year he dropped down to 3rd because Keon Pearson brought his absolute A game and he was able to dethrone Sean Carrera. So I don't think Angel is either qualified for Men's Open or the 212. So after the Olympia he was mostly focused on getting bigger and competing against the big boys at the New York Pro. But we all saw how that went. Because let's just face it, this is how it is in the Men's Open. Other than a few very generically gifted athletes, all these 212 guys, they really cannot do very well. Especially if the lineup is very deep in the Men's Open, like it was at this past New York Pro. Now don't get me wrong, Angel looked really phenomenal at the New York Pro, but that still wasn't good enough for the judges to place him in the top 5. So being a top guy in the 212, that really favors Angel to stay in this division and try to fight Keon and Sean for the top spot. Now this is just speculation, but based on some of his recent pictures that he has been putting out in the last few weeks, he looks so ready right now, and it would make a lot of sense if he competes in Dubai and not only secures his Olympia spot, but win 20 grand, because that is a lot of money for the 212 athletes. So Angel doing not so well in the men's open division, that is a proof right there that there are only a handful of guys who can cross over from 212 into the men's open bodybuilding and still plays extremely well. Derek Lunsford is one, who is the reigning champion, Hadi Chopin, who is a former champion, and both these guys were originally 212 competitors, but they have been dominating the men's open for the last couple of years. And these two are some of the most genetically gifted athletes that we have seen in a long time. Other than that, I think Keon Pearson is the one who can cross over and do very well in the men's open. Next up is the 4.5 weeks old physique update from Lazlo Kiraly. So he is doing Texas Pro, which is happening next month. So I have pointed this out so many times, that his legs aren't up to the par, especially in comparison to his humongous upper half. But right now, looking at this recent picture from Laszlo, I have to say I'm taking that back. He looks absolutely mind-blowing right now, and this is easily the best his quads have ever looked. Now that being said, we have to keep in mind, Laszlo has a way to cut down to, and he has another 4 weeks to do that. So we do not know how it's gonna affect his final look. But the fact that Laszlo is being coached by Patrick Tuor, in fact, these guys have been working together for quite some time now. That's a reassurance right there, that Laszlo this year will be at his all-time best. So he has one of the best V-tipper in the classic physique division, as far as his upper body is concerned. But this time his legs are also looking way better, especially in comparison to his previous looks. So Texas Pro has always had a great lineup, and not just in the men's open, across all the divisions. So I believe that is gonna be another great show overall. So if you guys have followed Laszlo's prep this year, you must know that he went back to the old school training style, especially for his legs training, heavy scores and all the other difficult movements to bring up his legs. And it seems like that has paid off big time. Next up is the physique update from James Hollingshead. So the victory of Nezhilla in Portugal, that has motivated James to do better, since both these guys belong to the same region. So currently James is deep in his off-season phase, where he's making sure to keep things very clean and very tight. So when does James plans to step on stage? Considering that he isn't gonna compete unless he puts on more dense muscle on his frame, it is highly unlikely that James is gonna do a show before this year's Miss Olympia.
Honestly, I don't know. I just want a bit more muscle, and I don't know how long that's going to take. Whether it takes 8 weeks, 8 months, I don't know. I know that.
So I'm not really sure where does he stand in terms of his knee injury, because that was another thing that he needs to take care of before starting another prep. So seeing Stefan, his current coach, bring his athletes in the best possible shapes of their life show after show, it is gonna be so exciting to see James nail his condition 100% the next time he competes, the next time he steps on stage. So James looked extremely impressive at this past Arnold Classic Ohio. So if that was only 85% of his real potential, his 100% will be a sight to see. So could James ever be top 6 at the Olympia? Because that seems to be his goal. But I have to say, as of right now, that seems very unrealistic. But you never know how much he will change during the course of this off-season. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.